Hello. Before beginning today's topic, I'd like to share with you that you are a genius, you are special, you mean the world, and you are loved. Today's topic is, what frequency am I thinking on? Well, are you thinking? Are you conscious? I realize that the first awaken the first awakening is so monumental. It's so seductive that in turn it keeps us living life the same. What is first awakening? We all have that day where our brain reveals the mind, and the mind makes it very clear that it's here to stay, and we cannot influence that. Influence the fact that it's here to stay forever. And what do we do? Such a moving time. I don't know about y'all, but for me, it was very moving. I believe I went to sleep in tears of joy. I wake up the next day and I go on about my life. Obviously, now with this assistant observing and commenting on my whole life, and I never made a change. I kept living life the same way. I realized that when something impacts us, it's usually to cause a change. Something that impacts you should cause a change, especially something so fundamental. At that moment, your first awakening is the Creator coming to you and telling you, here's the horse, and points to your legs and tells you, you can ride that horse. So, what frequency are you thinking on? What frequency am I thinking on? This is a multidimensional question. So, I'd like to simplify it and just talk very logically to where we can all understand it. Frequency. It's, we can say it's a synonym to speed, right? But it's different. How rapid? So let's say every time I'm snapping, I'm saying a word internally. Well, that would be the rate at which I am consciously thinking. But before shedding light on what is the most conscious instrument, what is the best way, what is the most elevated way to operate, I like to shed some light into our world, into what the physiology of the human being is and why it's so seductive and why we need to get out of it. But the first thing is understanding it. So we have a brain that operates in electrical signals, the body in chemical signals. Well, I'm here to tell you that you live through your most energetically charged experience. And 9 out of 10 times, that's going to be an experience that had you feeling the hormones of stress. Whenever you're in stress, you're in survival mode. So what you are, or what you're, the unseen hand that controls your life today is your most energetically charged memory. And it is a negative memory because at that moment you were feeling these hormones of stress, and when you are feeling these hormones of stress, your body is in survival. Why is my world based on the most energetically charged experience that is a negative one? Well, the moment that all of our energy is pointed outside, the brain takes a snapshot. This is called a refractory period. The goal for the human being is to lessen the refractory periods that we have to negative occurrences. And why is this the one controlling me? Well, the biology of the human being makes it so that when we have these traumatic or very elevated experiences that makes us live stress hormones puts us in survival mode, we're going to remember these experiences a lot better, a lot more. So if they happen in the future, we know how to get out of danger. Again, the brain remembers situations where we are experiencing stress hormones when we are living survival mode. So if this happens in the future, we know how to get out of danger. Now, the thing is, for in our day-to-day life, we're not out there hunting, scavenging for food. Our predators aren't tigers or bears. It's our family members pushing our emotional buttons. It's our boss pushing our emotional buttons. So what is this? We're constantly releasing stress hormones. Stress hormones makes us live in survival mode. Now we don't know how to get out of survival mode. And why is this bad? Well, we're already living through the neural network that is the largest neural network is based on a negative experience. Negative means stress hormones. So now what? Well, I'm stuck, right? I mean, my brain, the largest neural network in my brain is the most emotionally, energetically charged experience. And if that's a bad one because my body is so amazing that it wants to keep me out of danger, so it remembers this, so in the future, well, I'm stuck. Well, the answer is no. If you simply became conscious one day, if you had your first awakening and you decided, okay, I just want to always have my assistant tell me about my life and I don't want to comment, or I'm not going to use my body to create an elevated emotion. I just want everything to be on autopilot. Well, then, yes, you are stuck and there is no answer for you. Now, you can get out of that memory, out of that paradigm, which is what it is. And how to do that is by utilizing your conscious. Conscious does not mean observing, or like conscious means action. You got we gotta you gotta think that being conscious means taking action, but not physically. No, no, no. That's what you're already doing. Your whole life before your first awakening, you're only utilizing your body. Your friends invited you, hey, let's go to the park. You think, oh, I'm making a conscious decision by using my physical body to say no. Well, let's step before physical. What creates things that are physical? Non-physical. So you want to change your life, you want to create better experiences, you want to better your health, change your paradigm, you got to start with what is not physical. But in order to do that, you have to let go of the fear that you can talk, you can use your imagination, you can use the electrical aspect, you can use your heart to create elevated emotions. You have so many tools available to you, and you just got to start using them. So to overcome that paradigm, to have a high to be to think very elevated would is to say to be very conscious. Well, in our time we think of 0 to 100%. Well, let's be 100%, right? Because if I can be 50, I can be 100. If I can be 0, I could be 100. If I could be 97, I could be 100. I used to live in my life where I would walk around my whole day, I would say one word: love. I was literally using my brain to say the word love internally. But the math for that is too much. Let's take a person that every hour he says the word love. Okay? Every hour this person says the word love. How long does it take for you to say the word love? 2 seconds? How long does it take for the brain to say and hear, because that's what happens, love? 2 seconds? Let's just give it 2 seconds. Let's say this person is awake 16 hours of his day. So every hour he said the word love. How much time did he was he conscious? Was he utilizing his non-physical dimensions? 32 seconds out of his whole day. this person was consciously utilizing his internal world. So that's the frequency that this person, and this is a very like small scale scope way, but a very easy way to understand frequency. And like what we're trying to do in essence is really like calibrate my internal system to create the best life. Is it not? Is the human life not to utilize his best resources to create the best life for themselves? I'm asking you. If you know how to control, utilize your emotions, your thoughts, your energy, and your physical body, are you going to create a negative reality for yourself? So now that we start to utilize all of our aspects, we start to become more conscious and more conscious. And now the secret. I said in the beginning, I would say it in the end. The best way, you can say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Let's say you're awake 16 hours. I mean, basically, we can say for a good 16 hours almost, you were saying you were conscious, right? Like that's pretty frequent. I mean, you were saying I love myself pretty frequently. But even there's milliseconds or seconds, or someone takes your attention away. You're listening to a song and you don't want to hear yourself, so you want to listen to the song. So there can be seconds that I'm not actually utilizing my internal world. So what does this result? Oh, well, I'm stuck in this paradigm, my most energetically charged memory? No, ladies and gentlemen. What this means is let's use our heart. Our heart can give you 100% consciousness. What I mean by this is that 100% of your day, of your conscious day, you are doing something utilizing your deepest part, your internal world to create. You're flashing the light in your side, inside your internal world, and you're there. You're present 24/7 or however long you're consciously awake for. But you don't turn this off. Spoiler. So what does this mean? You're now 100% conscious. By that simple definition, if you want to accept it, if I'm internally doing something around the clock, does that not make me 100% conscious, I ask you? And from my experience, I realized the heart is the only instrument that I have, and I have three, that's going to give me this. What are my three instruments? Body, brain, heart. The heart is the only one that I have found that gives me this. What do I do with this? You use it. You have the legs, you get on that horse, and you create, you start running. But I implore and I invite you to create an elevated emotion. It is the best. You want to manifest? The best way to manifest, the fastest, you want to be the fastest manifester in the world? Create effortlessly, using the heart, an elevated emotion. And I'll tell you quickly, self-realization is the greatest gift to a human being. There will be no greater realization than realizing you are creating and observing your creation. Again, the biggest realization a human being can have is self-realization. And there is no larger self-realization than consciously making yourself feel something and observing your creation. I invite you today to join my family. We are individuals that live through the heart and are experts, teachers, masters at sharing with others how to live through the heart. This membership also comes with 2 meditations daily, a monthly meditation, and a weekly meditation. Lastly, I invite you to share this video on your social media accounts with your kids, with your parents, with your mastermind group, and also comment below what topics you'd like for me to cover in the future. I hope to see you in the side of light. Goodbye.